Yahtzee!
All right. That'll be in the beginning of the show. This is the 108.1 FNFB podcast. I'm Darian.
I'm Mike.
And we're going to do episode 14 today. This is going to be, we're picking the Week 15 NFL schedule. So, I think this is actually kind of an interesting week. I'm just going to say that. For a few different reasons.
Yeah, there's some games that have some important stuff going on that I don't think's likely, but wouldn't be surprised. There's some games that mean absolutely nothing other than guys on those teams trying to get jobs for next year.
Right.
Like, for example, I just saw a thing today for, Malik Jackson? That's his name, right? For Jacksonville?
Yeah.
His cap number next year is $15 million. And he doesn't even start anymore because they like their rookie so much.
He gone.
That's what he said. He's like, I'm gone. He goes, so I may as well put some good tape out for all the rest of the teams out there.
Is that what he really said?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
hey, that's smart because he's right. Like he doesn't
there's
start
no way.
anymore.
Yeah, there's no way they're keeping him. So I think he'll have like $4 million in dead money or something, which is a lot of money. Or no, it's $3.5 million, but it'll save them 11.5. They'll get 11.5 back on the cap.
Right.
So they're like,
worth it.
And they're like, well, I mean, we ain't paying $15 million for a rotational lineman now that we've got this rookie dude who's doing good.
Right.
Because he don't even start anymore. He's only got one sack all year, and that's his job. He's a pass rusher. And these are all things that he said. So, there's a few games like that where there's guys that don't really have anything to play for other than themselves because they know they're not going to be where they're at now next year.
Right. So
that's just the one off the top of my head I could think of.
I'm trying to pull up something due to like in relation to the playoff scenario stuff, but let's just go ahead and start with tonight's game, the Thursday night matchup between the San Diego Superchargers. I know they're LA, but I still like calling them San Diego, just like Stephen A. Smith does. I feel like he doesn't even acknowledge that they moved to LA. He just calls them San Diego still, like all the time. It's so funny. Yeah, it's the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead tonight. What do you think, man? This is for the division.
Yes,
it is because they have the same record right now. They're both 10-2. No, they're not 10-2. Uh-oh, hold on here.
11-2 and 10-3.
Oh, okay. So it's not for the division.
If the Chargers win, they have, I believe, the tiebreaker over the Kansas City Chiefs.
And what's the tiebreaker?
The first one. What is the? I think the first tiebreaker is.
We're a mess this time because we're trying.
Yeah, no, well, because I'm reading something right now about this game.
All right, dead air.
Yeah, dead air is a great thing. No, I'm trying to find it. Who's the Patriots and the Rams usually have beaten blah blah blah. The way it's set up now is possible that the winner of Thursday's game, could have home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs, while the loser could have the conference's second best record and be the 5 seed.
Yeah, because
and have to play 3 road games.
And that exactly, and that's 100% right. So because I'm looking at the playoff picture now, and like you said, you're right. Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs are 11-2, and the Chargers are 10-3. And if the Chargers win, they'll both be 11-3. And I don't know who has that specific tiebreaker, but I do know this: next week, KC has to go up to Seattle. That's not an easy win. That they might honestly lose. And then they get the Raiders, which is probably a win, but you never know. And then, I mean, the Raiders played them close the first time, so you really never know. And the Chargers next week get the Ravens in LA, so that could still be a tough game because the Ravens have a really good defense, although it's on the road, but then again, the weather won't be a problem because it's literally LA, and also, it's never a home game for the Chargers in LA, so that doesn't matter either. And then they got to go to Denver week 17, so it's tough, man. Both these teams it's very possible either of these teams wins this division. Like, it's still wide open. It really is.
Yeah, the thing is, if the Chiefs win tonight,
it's over.
It's going to be pretty much over because the best the Chargers could do if they win out is tie them.
Yeah,
if the Chiefs lose out.
Right, and then I think that the Chiefs have that tiebreaker, don't they?
No, if they finish, well, if the Chiefs win tonight, they would have the tiebreaker because they would have swept the Chargers.
Exactly. So that
and that would be it. That would be head to head. But if the Chargers win tonight, then the head to head tiebreaker goes out, and then there's, I don't think it's straight the schedule. I think it's conference record, and I think the Chargers have a better conference record than the Chiefs do.
Really? I'm gonna check real quick. See, we're spending a lot of time on this game, but this game actually is super interesting to me.
Well, it's a game worth spending time on. There's a bunch of games that aren't worth spending time on. So, I mean, if we want to have something to talk about, even though I can't stand either one of these, well, I can't say I can't stand them. I can't stand a few people on the Chiefs. I actually like Tyreek a lot Hill. Of guys on the Chargers. So the conference record,
Tyreek Hill, right?
Yeah, he's one.
Yeah, the Chiefs are 9-1, and the Chargers are 7-2.
So they would be, but that would swap up because the Chiefs would then be 9-2, and the Chargers would be 8-2.
8-2, and the Chargers play, like I said. So the Chiefs have an NFC game, which would not matter, and an AFC game against the Raiders. So they could be
10-2.
10-2, and then because I lost the page, and then the Chargers have 2 AFC, so they could catch them if the Chargers win out.
Who's the 2A? Well, they'd still be tied at conference. So then.
Oh yeah, they would. Damn, it would. It's Ravens and at Broncos.
Playoff tiebreakers. I have the magic of Google.
Yeah, we're
head to head, and then best won-loss tied percentage in games played within the division.
Divisional, okay.
So what is their divisional record?
Let's
Where
see.
are they? 4-0 and 2-2.
Oh.
Hmm.
And they would only. The Chiefs would have to lose to the Raiders in addition to the Chargers, and the Chargers would have to beat the Broncos in addition to the Chiefs, and then I think the Chiefs. Honestly, I don't know.
No, I think the Chargers have to win tonight, and then they have to hope that the Chiefs lose another game. I think if they end up tied, that the Chiefs will get it.
I think so, too.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. The Chargers have a much better chance if they win tonight than the Chiefs do, because I don't think the Chiefs are going to win that game in Seattle next week. I'm already picking Seattle right now. Like, I'll tell you, I don't think that they can do that, because we saw what a really, really good defense can do to Kansas City last week, and sure, it didn't stop them, but it made it a hell of a lot tougher than it's been all year for Kansas City, and that combined with how loud and just how hard it is to play in Seattle, I don't see it, man. And Russell Wilson's playing out of his mind. Okay,
so let's not pick next week's game right now. Let's pick this game.
Thank you for keeping me on track. So let's. I'm
picking the Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs will win. Arrowhead's a tough place to play. It's a night game. They're all used to sunny LA or San Diego in the case of Phillip Rivers. I just think the Chiefs eke out a win. I called them by 17 last week. I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's if they were playing in LA, I still might pick the Chiefs. But mainly the reason why I'm picking them is because they're playing in Kansas City, and that's kind of a tough place to play.
It is, for sure. On that note, I'm picking a little more with what I want to happen than what I really do think will happen. But I think it's possible still. So it's not like I don't believe in my pick. I just think it's an uphill fight, but I'm taking LA.
Well, I think either team could totally win this game.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, but I'm just giving it to Kansas City because I think Eric Berry's playing tonight. I think it's just tough to play there, but I would not be surprised with either team winning.
It's definitely tough to play there. And
now comes Saturday football. Yay!
Woo! I love Saturday football. It's so much fun.
The first game, 4:30 Eastern Time, the Houston Football Texans against the New York Minor League Football's Jets.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this game just because we spent almost 9 minutes on the first game, and that was my fault.
Texans.
Yeah, Texans by quite a bit. They lost their first game they had won 9 in a row, and then they lost last week to the Colts because the Colts are a pretty decent team. The Texans played pretty well though overall. They just couldn't really stop luck when it counted. But apparently the Texans are ranked 6th overall in DVOA in defense. So their offense is, I think it's like 17th or 21st or something. So it's like an average offense overall, but their defense is playing really well. And Sam Darnold or Josh McCown or whoever plays for the Jets is not going to have a fun time there. And even though it's at home, it's going to be the Texans.
Yep.
So, yeah.
To the next Saturday game, which I think will actually be an entertaining game, and unfortunately, I'm suspecting that somebody's going to make me go do something Saturday night. Oh, I already know. I've got 2 Christmas parties, so I can't watch this game.
Well, I will watch it for you, and I will text you if Baker Mayfield...
No, don't text me, because I think I'm going to DVR it.
Okay.
I'm going to watch it Sunday morning.
It's going to be a good game. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I think it is going to be a good game. I think it'll be entertaining, to say the least.
It will be. Even if it's sloppy, it'll be an entertaining game. It's going to be 8:20 Eastern Time, Saturday night. The Cleveland Browns, the Denver Broncos. So they lost Chris Harris to a broken leg 2 weeks ago. Practiced that same week. Emmanuel Sanders, what did he do? He popped his Achilles?
Yes.
Yeah, that's rough. He's one of my favorite players too in the league. That sucks. I hope he comes back.
He's a good dude.
I think he's sick. I'm still jealous of the time when he visited New England in free agency and didn't sign with us, and then went to sign with Denver. I've always been very jealous. I think we would have just been awesome with him. One of my favorite players for sure. So yeah, Baker Mayfield. Who did they just torch last week?
I think they played Cincinnati, didn't they?
It was Carolina.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
they
just crushed the Panthers, and yeah, man.
Panthers aren't good.
No, they're really bad. They're really bad. But I think the Browns might be kind of good, and the Browns.
Well, keep in mind they've got. Well, for one, Denzel Ward was out, right?
Right. Oh, was he? I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, he was in concussion protocol. Unless he got hurt in that game, but I don't think that's the case. I think he got hurt the week before. But I could be wrong. But they're loaded with rookies, and they're still half a game behind what the Broncos' record is.
Right.
I mean, that is not bad for the Browns. The Browns,
it's not at all.
They might finish above 500 this year.
They also
have to win the next 3 games, but
I'm trying to grab it. So here's what we go. Here's where we go. It's week 15. We're talking about whether or not I just literally Googled this sentence because I know it's possible. It's a 0.2% chance, but it is possible. How can the Browns still make the playoffs 2018? Because they can. They're actually alive. So if they lose at all, or they tie it all, or no, they can still tie, but it still would pretty much be the same as a loss because it'd be tough anyway. They'd need a bunch of other stuff to happen. So if the
dude,
what?
So let's just say this.
Okay, is this about this game?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about the Browns thing, right? So I'm reading about this, right? So these are the things that the Browns have to do to win the AFC North, dude.
That's what I was about to say. Go ahead.
The only one that I see as being difficult is the Steelers losing to the Bengals.
Well, here's the thing. Well, okay, no, I know.
Jeff Driscoll.
Where's the game at, though? It's in Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Because the Brownies could win out against the Broncos, Bengals, and Ravens.
Right, they can, and that's what has to happen.
I mean, the Ravens would be a tough one, but they could do it.
Yeah, they can. They absolutely can. And that defense, I honestly think, can stop Lamar Jackson because he can't really throw the ball, or at least they're not letting him. You know what I mean?
Well, he's okay, but the thing is that they've got so much speed on defense that they would be able to not have to, like the Raiders thing that they did when they played him was they had to end up like spying him, and then that takes away from everything else you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Well, if your defense has got a lot of team speed, you don't necessarily have to do that.
Right. So I agree with you. Yeah. So just real quick, and then we'll move on. So the Browns have to win. They can win the AFC North still if they win their last 2 games, which is Broncos, Bengals, Ravens. The Steelers have to lose all 3 of their last games, which is Patriots, which they could lose, the Saints, which they could lose, and the Bengals, which they probably won't lose, but anything's possible week 17 because stuff gets weird in football. And the Ravens lose to the Browns, obviously, and lose once more.
I mean, you got to consider. Sorry to interrupt you, but you got to consider the Steelers just lost to the Raiders.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, and it's a divisional opponent, the Bengals, so it's going to be weird. And then the last thing is, and the Ravens have to lose to the Browns, which means obviously because Cleveland has to win out anyway, and the Ravens have to lose once more. They play the Bucks, who they could lose to because Jameis can score, or the Chargers, which they could also.
And Tampa Bay's defense is looking up, bro.
Yeah, it is exactly.
Bro, Chacho.
So.
Yeah, so that is, in my opinion, even though it seems a little unlikely, that's the most likely scenario because to get to the wild card, they've still got to win out. The Ravens still have to lose against the Bucks or the Chargers. The Colts have to lose 2 to either the Cowboys, Giants, or Titans. The Dolphins have to lose 2 to the Vikings, Jags, or Bills, and the Titans have to lose 2 to the Giants, Redskins, and Colts.
And that's the one right there. The Titans losing 2 of their next 3 to either the Giants, Redskins, or Colts. That's actually the one that I think could stick in Cleveland's craw if they're trying to get a wild card spot, because I'm not sure the Titans will lose to the Giants, Redskins, and the Colts.
No, they only have to lose 2 of those. I think they will lose to the Colts, and I am actually picking the Giants this week over the Titans.
So where's that game at?
The one against the Colts?
No, the Giants against the Titans.
New York.
Yo, okay, Cleveland honestly could get a wild card.
But see, here's the problem, though. The Dolphins have got to lose to the Vikings, Jaguars, Bills. They got to lose to 2 of those teams.
They can, though. They can, because here's the thing. First of all, the Bills-Dolphins games are always weird. It's a divisional game anyway. The Dolphins are not that good. I promise you they're not. And Jacksonville can beat them, and Minnesota can absolutely beat them. They just fired John DeFilippo, so there's a chance that Minnesota kind of turns around the whole offensive thing and just actually starts to score again. And if that's the case, Dolphins are done.
Okay, so here's the problem, though.
Cleveland's going to playoffs. Let's go.
Here's the problem. The Colts also have to lose 2 games to the Cowboys, Giants, and Titans. So I can see them losing to the Cowboys.
I think they will lose to the Cowboys, and I also
they aren't going to lose to the Giants and the Titans.
I'm not so sure about that. Let's hold on real quick there, because I actually have a feeling the Giants might be on a little bit of a wild card run here. I know that sounds weird. I know.
Yeah, but Odell's hurt,
and they just crushed Washington.
Yeah, if Washington's playing the guy that was bagging groceries at Walmart 2 weeks ago.
I'm just saying, man. I'm telling you, the Giants. The Giants have been so under the radar all year.
That's like comparing me to Brett Favre.
I'm just saying. All right.
Right.
Hey, so listen, I know I get you, but listen, that's game 3 of the week, and we're 18 minutes in, so we are very much behind schedule.
But this was one of the intriguing games I wanted to talk about. There's a bunch of games I don't even really care about a whole lot. But anyways,
I agree with that.
To cut to the chase, I picked the Browns.
I also picked the Browns. I hope they win. I think they will, but it's also possible that they just lay an egg in Denver, where it's kind of hard to play anyway, and maybe Case Keenum just does enough. But I'm not expecting it, though.
Broncos suck.
I think. Well, they didn't suck, but they're screwed now with injuries. They were okay. They honestly were frisky. So for a while there, they really were. I know you love that word I use, frisky, but they really.
Packers. Go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
yeah, you're good. I'm just saying they really were, but no, Browns. I think the Browns can win that game. So
Packers Bears.
Sunday 1:00, the first 1:00 game on the schedule.
The Bears.
I don't know, man. It's hard to win in Chicago. They have a great defense, but Aaron Rodgers is hard to pick against.
Well, he's lost 7 times so far.
All right. Well, I can't argue with that logic. The Bears. I'm picking the Bears too. That was funny. I mean, you're right. I'm just scared to pick against him. You know what I mean?
Me too. But I mean, I have a feeling that
Chicago's actually a pretty good team.
Huh?
You have a feeling that Chicago's actually just a good team.
Not even that so much as Randall Cobb's got a hamstring.
Right.
Brian Balaga's out.
He's done for the year, right?
No, it says he's doubtful. He just says he will not play.
Oh, okay.
They just got too many injuries, dude. Packers got too many injuries. The Bears. I don't think the Bears are as good as their record says they are, but I don't think the Packers are as good as their record says they are due to all their injuries this year. Mm-hmm. I think they got kind of lucky a few times, but I think next year will be and no Mike McCarthy. It'll get better.
Well,
so I got the Bears on that one. That's an easy game for me.
So, all right, yeah, I'll take the Bears too. You've convinced me. I was honestly like 50-50 on this game. I feel like this was a stay away if you were betting on it type stuff because like I don't know, but I mean they kicked Green Bay's ass week 1, and then Aaron Rodgers was hurt, and then he came back in like the second half and he performed magic.
Kicked their ass right back.
Yeah, he really did. So it was an awesome game. So I think that was the first Sunday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, that was a fun game. That was one of the best 10 games of the year. So. All right, let's move on real quickly. We have a bunch of games that we're going to run through quickly because I don't care about most of these, and they don't matter, most of them. Detroit at Buffalo. I'm going to take Buffalo also because it's at home, and I don't think either of these teams are that good, but I think that
Josh Allen is frisky.
Josh Allen is frisky. He's cool. He's fun to watch play, too. I actually was watching Josh Allen highlights this week, or on Monday, because I was like, I can't remember how well he played against us. He played all right against us on Monday Night Football because we've only played him once so far. Us meaning New England. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to see what he was doing, and he's pretty cool, man. So yeah.
Well, you want to know a fun fact?
Yes.
Even though we're not supposed to be talking about this game, I don't know the exact numbers because I don't remember, but I do remember this. Between him and Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen has had like 40-something designed runs and like 200-something scrambles.
Right.
And Lamar Jackson has had like 200-something designed runs, whether they were options or whatever. They were designed for him to potentially run in like 60 scrambles. Mm-hmm. So those are reverse numbers. And Josh Allen has more yards rushing than Lamar Jackson does.
Yeah. No, he's awesome, dude. He's a very good runner. Like, he really is. So, and yeah.
He's frisky.
So we're taking Buffalo. Both of us are. So moving on. Speaking of Lamar Jackson, we've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Baltimore Ravens, and I personally was rooting for Baltimore to beat Kansas City last week, and they were close, man. They went to overtime. I didn't see much of the game because I was watching New England choke to the Dolphins, but I caught like the end of the fourth quarter and overtime, obviously, and it was cool games from what I saw. So with that being said, Buccaneers are honestly the definition of a frisky team right now because they're not very good, but they're kind of like a trap game for anyone who's possibly looking ahead of them. That's how I feel about them. And just like the Saints almost got caught last week, and in the second half they were like, all right, let's do this because they were losing by halftime by quite a bit to Tampa Bay. But I'm gonna take in Baltimore. I'm gonna take the Ravens. So.
Yep, me too. You pretty much said everything I was gonna say, so I don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Let's go to a game nobody cares about.
What is that game?
The Arizona Cardinals are going to the Atlanta United Football Falcons.
Congratulations to Atlanta for their first championship since '95 when the Braves won. The Atlanta United won.
And I would just like to the MLS championship. Yes. I would just like to say that I find that extremely disturbing that's the case because.
What's the case?
Well, championship-wise, because way back in the day, I used to live in this place called California, and we used to get this channel called TBS. And the only baseball games I got to watch was the Braves. So I got to watch Maddox and Smoltzy and all those guys pitch. They won their division like every single year for like 15 years. But every single year they'd run up against some crazy Kirk Gibson home run or some crazy ass thing always happened. That team should have won like 4 or 5 World Series. But anyways,
yeah,
this is not a baseball podcast. So
well, that's what I was going to say was that's how interesting the Cardinals Falcons game is. We are a baseball podcast now, but that's the reality though. But no, I get what you're saying. It is pretty crazy because they've had a lot of talent come through, and they had Dominique Wilkins in the NBA, but obviously it was during Michael and all them. That's like they had Deion Sanders, Dirty Birds, like they had
Jamal
teams.
Anderson. They could always get to the game.
They could just never
do it. Or the series, but they could never finish it.
The 28-3, I don't mean to bring that up, but
finish him.
But it is a thing. So, but yeah, with that all being said, I'm taking Atlanta.
Yeah, me too. I just think they're a marginally better team, and they're playing in Atlanta.
Exactly.
So.
I just don't like Arizona on the road. I get that they were fine in Green Bay. They beat Green Bay on the road, which isn't easy, but that doesn't.
woohoo! That's like saying you beat the Raiders. That's it's like beating a high school team
Yeah, I'm not impressed. So
with a really good quarterback, but quarterbacks can't win everything.
Right,
I mean, there are 10 other dudes on the field that got to do something.
Exactly. So yeah, we're taking Atlanta. Let's move on real quickly to the Oakland Raiders at the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't want to talk about this game. You can, because I know you're a Raider fan, but I'm taking the Oakland Raiders because the Bengals are that bad.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders too, only because I figure if we can beat Ben Roethlisberger, who still has not won a game in Oakland ever in his career.
I actually saw that, by the way. I want to stop real quick. I saw that on Reddit, and I had to go look it up, and I was like, I don't believe that. Because you guys haven't really been that good since he's been in the league. And that's crazy.
We've been good 1 year, and that 1 year, I don't think we played them at all. Actually, I think we played them in Pittsburgh, maybe. I don't remember. But we've been good 1 year, and since 2001.
Yeah, and that's true, and it's just crazy. Side note, because I also saw another weird stat like that, and this is completely unrelated. Did you know Carmelo Anthony, after he got traded from the Nuggets, never won a game in Denver? It's pretty interesting. So anyway,
I did not know that. That is kind of weird.
Nah, not once, and I looked too, but
I looked.
Well, because someone said it on Reddit, and I wanted to. I like calling people wrong if they're wrong because I'm an asshole, but I was like, that can't be true.
Own it, baby.
Yeah,
but that was the thing. That's the Roethlisberger thing. I'm like, are you telling me? I know that they have played in Oakland a few times in the last few years, and you're really trying to tell me that Roethlisberger's never won there? So I went back and looked up the history between them, and they didn't. The last time that Pittsburgh won in Oakland was 2 years before Roethlisberger was there, 2001.
That's crazy. That's
I know. So, anyways,
very cool stat.
I don't want to talk about this either. Even though the Raiders have more offensive line injuries and this and that and blah blah blah, I still think that Jeff Driscoll's not gonna hold up.
Yep, I don't think so either. So they shut down AJ Green. The whole thing is just a cluster. You know what?
Cluster, bad word. Yeah. So that's that. We both picked the Raiders only because it's the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree. So.
If they were playing the Redskins, I'd do the same thing because some
absolutely.
dude at Walmart's not going to win.
Nope.
But anyways, now if it was AJ Green, if it was that
McCarron?
red-haired guy.
Oh, Andy Dalton.
That dude. I picked the Bengals, but it's not. So
I actually, just for the record, I still wouldn't. I just want that on the record. So,
okay.
I just think they're that bad right now. But let's move on to the Tennessee Titans at the New York Giants.
Wait a second.
What's up?
I just wanted to let everybody know that I think that Derek Carr shouldn't play that game. They should start AJ McCarron and let him go to Cincinnati and beat Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, so, we talked about this pre-recording. Yeah, so yeah, I remember.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot about that, and I was like, oh yeah, that AJ McCarron could go back and beat the Bengals.
They would be, especially with Hugh Jackson on the other side.
I know,
that would be funny, and oh my god, that would be funny. That would probably get Marvin Lewis fired after that game. Just like how McCarthy.
All the more reason to do it. So, anyways,
hell yeah.
Sorry about that.
Bengals fans should be rooting for that scenario at this point. Honestly, if I was
Titans at the Giants.
Yeah.
New York Football Giants.
I'm going to the G-Man. Sorry.
Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
I'm gonna surprise you with my pick here. Giants.
I picked the Giants too.
Oh yeah. See, Giants are frisky, and I actually think, and I think I said this earlier when we were talking about the Browns and playoff scenarios, blah 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 blah. I think the Giants might make the playoffs. Like they have obviously.
I don't think 8-8's going to get them in though.
There's some stuff that can happen, and I don't want to go through it all again because we still have another whole half the pod, and we took a while for the Browns discussion for them to get in. But I also kind of care about the Browns getting in because that'd be fun. I don't care if the Giants get in because they'll just go to the Super Bowl and beat us again, and I don't want to deal with that. But that'll happen.
So here's a funny article title for you: How the New York Giants can make the playoffs in 19 simple steps.
Oh my god, that's freaking hilarious!
Oh my lord!
Please send that to me. That is funny. I'll have to read that later. That's some good content. Who wrote that article, or at least the site?
It's on SB Nation. It was by Christian DeAndrea.
Shout out to Christian DeAndrea of SB Nation. That is some funny.
In 19 easy steps.
Hey man, I love SB Nation, especially for their basketball writers. Like they have some awesome NBA coverage, but that's funny as hell. That is awesome. So, yeah, you'd think for two possible fringe wildcard teams, we'd have a lot to say about this game. But Tennessee is not that interesting to me, and I don't trust them on the road. And I kind of like the mojo the Giants got right now. And Saquon Barkley's Rookie of the Year, and he's awesome. So
I'm just. Wait a minute. Who did you say last week was going to be Rookie of the Year?
I said Philip Lindsay before Saquon Barkley kept doing what he was doing, and Philip Lindsay was quiet. No, for real.
Saquon Barkley's been running his stuff all year long. But anyways, I know where you're going with this because you picked the Giants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked the Giants too. It's going to be raining.
Giants are 4-1 in their last 5 games, by the way.
I know.
Against also the Eagles and the Bears and the Bucks. So.
Yeah, they weren't playing the Raiders and the Cardinals and the...
Right, they're playing teams that are at least as
49ers.
good as them, which is...
Yeah.
And Tennessee's that kind of team, so it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, moving along.
Yep.
The Miami Dolphins at the Minnesota Vikings.
I gotta believe that they fired John DeFilippo in Minnesota for a reason, and the reason was that they totally stopped targeting Adam Thielen.
Well, no, the thing is he wouldn't run the freaking ball. Mike Zimmer, every week, Mike Zimmer's like, well, we ran the ball 11 times. He's like, yeah, I know, we need to run the ball more. Oh, we ran the ball 11 times. Oh, you got to run the ball more. So He kept telling DeFilippo, but see, here's the thing. DeFilippo is trying to get he's trying to get a head coaching job.
Right, and now that's done. He ain't getting one now. Not this year.
Yeah, so that's his thing. He's been trying to showcase his talents.
Yeah.
Not trying to win games, which is dumb because really you want to be I don't understand that. That's counterintuitive to me. If I'm an offensive coordinator and I'm trying to get a head coaching gig, right? The thing that I want to do is use my offensive players to like their full value and score as many freaking points as I can. Yeah. Not to show everybody, hey, I'm the next Sean McVay and can drop all these fancy plays and all this kind of crap.
Right.
And I don't get it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And
Toodaloo, DeFilippo, and which is funny because he was actually the quarterback coach for Derek Carr in 2016 when he had such a great year. That's how he got that gig in Minnesota.
I mean, he's not done. Like he'll get another gig, but he's got to go be a coordinator somewhere else again first.
Yeah.
So
wasn't that what happened with Kyle Shanahan but he got a gig and then sucked at it.
Wasn't he the Browns? So he was offensive coordinator for Washington.
Right.
Kyle Shanahan. Then he was the head coach for the Browns with the Manziel, right?
No.
Yeah. I think.
Where's my Wikipedia when I need it?
And then they sucked because it's the Browns. And then he went to go be offensive coordinator in Atlanta and was kicking ass. And then he's like, I'm gonna go head coach the Niners.
No, so here's the deal. So he was an assistant quality, but whatever. He was in the Texans, and because he was under John Gruden. He's part of Gruden's coaching tree. So Sean McVay, incidentally enough. They learned all that stuff from Gruden. But anyways, let's not go there. So then he went to the Texans, and he was like quarterbacks coach or wide receiver coach. Then he went to the Redskins when his dad was the head coach, and he was fined for insulting the officials and blah, 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 blah. Then he went to the Browns where he was the offensive coordinator, and then he resigned because he disagreed with the front office's mandate that Johnny Manziel would start. Then he went to the Falcons as offensive coordinator, and then that's when they had the old 28-3 score thing.
Shout out New England.
Yep, and then he went to the Niners as a head coach.
Yeah.
So the only place he's been a head coach was the Niners. So I was wrong.
I thought he was the Browns coach, but that sounds right. He was the offensive coordinator, and I remember because they were like, start Manziel. He's like, but he sucks.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I don't want to do that. And they're like, okay, you're fired. Or no, he's like, no. They just said, do it or you're fired. And he's like, well, I just quit then. Kiss my booty. So anyways, we've spent way too long on this game.
Kyle Shanahan from the Vikings Dolphins, by the way.
John DeFilippo.
Yes. Okay. We're back on track, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us.
Sorry. Well, I'm just having fun with this. So who are you picking on this game, man?
I am too. Dolphins.
I know.
Dolphins.
Oh, you're picking the Dolphins.
Dolphins on the road because you know what? They've been more mentally tough this year than Minnesota has. That matters.
No, I do not disagree with that statement. I'm picking the Vikings only because they're at home. If they were in Miami, I would pick Miami.
Yeah, plus it'd be hot in Miami, and it'd be like, and I think that was a big issue with New England last week too. Was it was 80 degrees. And
well, I think that's we were talking about that. What are they, like 1-5 or 1-6 now? Their last few trips down there.
1-7.
It's got to be. Got to be that, dude. They're up chilling in Boston where it's a balmy 43 degrees, and then they go to Miami and it's like 86.
Yeah, and you're sweating your ass off, and you're like, God damn it, are we out on offense again?
It's like it's just hot.
Or is our defense really went 3 and out again? God damn it! Like, it's come on.
I know. That's got to be it. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
It sucks being hot. Like, I hate being hot, and I can't and just being that hot when you're also like have to stay adrenaline and focused and like getting hit by other guys running really hard at you. No, thank you. I'm okay.
Well, here's the thing with being hot. Not only in Miami are you hot, but being as how we live in Georgia, it's not like California hot where it's hot and you sweat, and cool off, and everything's cool. It's like being hot in a hot tub hot.
It's
like you're just
miserable,
hot.
Dude.
Like you can't get away from it.
Yeah, and you can. It's harder to breathe because it's thick sometimes. It sucks. I'm getting miserable.
Nasty.
It is. So on that note, I'm taking Dolphins. More mentally tough, and I also need Kenyon Drake because I'm in the championship of my fantasy league to go off because James White's been not having a great last few weeks, but I think we're going to use him against Pittsburgh. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I'm taking the Dolphins. So you're taking Vikings because it's in Minnesota, right?
Yes, and that's the only reason why.
Is that the first game we've disagreed on?
Let me check.
Oh no, no. You don't have to. I know. I took Chargers and you took Chiefs, so I know that wasn't the first one.
So Texans, Browns, Bears, Bills. Texans, Browns, Bears, Bills. I picked the Ravens. I picked the Falcons. Picked the Raiders. So that's the second game we picked.
Yeah,
the first one, like you said, and then this one is a different one also.
And I honestly, I think Dolphins Vikings is just a straight up coin flip.
Me too, and that's the only reason why I picked Minnesota is because they're playing in Minnesota, and that's it. Because I think the Dolphins fans are going to the Dolphins players are going to get confused with all those scary no suntan having white dudes yelling "Skol, Skol, Skol."
Oh my God, yeah, and like I said, I think they're more mentally tough of a team. I think they've got I don't know if he's a better coach, but here's the thing: they've been playing better more recently, and that matters to me in December. So you know what I mean? So.
Well, I think my feeling on that game is that the Dolphins beat the Patriots, and now they're like, hey, our season's done. Yay. Anyways, let's move along. We still have a bunch of games to play.
Oh, yeah. We're going along.
Redskins at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars.
It's Jaguars. I'm taking Jacksonville. Cody Kessler. Woo! Let's go, baby.
I'm taking Jacksonville. Not the guy from Walmart. Woo!
Who was the guy in Cleveland that stuck up for Cody Kessler? Was it Hugh Jackson? It was someone like the year when they had Deshaun Kaiser, and they both played like 6 games, and they had someone else play a game or two. I can't remember who it was. Somebody said Cody Kessler. I think it might have been Hugh Jackson. I don't know, but. That's my guy. Cody K. Let's go. Jacksonville. Not really. I don't care.
I mean, it's the weirdest thing, dude. So like USC used to be like quarterback university, right? Like all the good quarterbacks came from not all, but a majority of the good quarterbacks, like really good quarterbacks, came from USC. The last good quarterback to come from USC,
Sam Darnold.
I'm going to say this, and now somebody's going to probably point out that I'm wrong, but I think the last quarterback that came from there that was good was Carson Palmer. I'm looking back at all the other ones. They're like Cody Kessler's from USC, Sam Darnold's from USC.
Okay, so Sam Darnold has the what's it called? The next best chance to be the next one, but we don't know yet.
Well, so like here's the list of ones that people said,
Why are we talking about USC quarterbacks? I'm confused.
I don't know.
Oh, Cody Kessler.
Yeah, Sam Darnold, Cody Kessler, Matt Barkley, Mark Buttfumble, John David Booty, Matt Leinart, and then all the way back in 2002 was Carson Palmer.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. It might be... Well, okay. Can we say... Here, let me ask you now, but bear with me. Let me finish the whole sentence before you start laughing, and then you can laugh.
No. The answer is no.
Can we say Mark Sanchez
No.
going to 2 AFC Championship games, beating my Patriots in the divisional round one year? God damn it.
He didn't do anything. It was the freaking defense that did it.
All right, good. I'm glad.
Thank you, Darrell Rivas.
I just wanted you to say that. Yeah, shout out to that Super Bowl that you helped us win too, Rivas. Shout out to you. Coming to the dark side. So anyway, USC quarterbacks suck. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Did we pick that?
You picked the Jaguars, and I picked the Jaguars.
Right. Okay. The Jaguars. Okay.
Now here's the game that's coming on, the last 1 o'clock game on the schedule.
That's gonna be
the
fun.
Dallas Football Cowboys against the Indianapolis Colts.
Man.
In Indianapolis.
Yeah, that I don't think matters that much. I mean, I'm not saying the Colts don't have a good crowd or anything, but I just think it's too dumb. So overall, not a huge difference of setting for the team, for the Cowboys. I don't know, man. Fourth quarter, Amari Cooper is becoming a thing, and that defense is crazy. So
the Colts defense is no joke either, though.
They're playing very, very well, but I don't know, man. I just want to say one thing about the Colts. I can't wait to watch this game, and I'm really glad. When I saw the schedule, I was like, yes, I'm so stoked that New England plays at 4 because I get to watch Cowboys-Colts, and I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm not even going to do Red Zone. I'm just watching this. Because both these teams, when I've gotten the chance this year, I've actually watched several games, and I think they're fun. So I know that's weird. I like them both this year. I'm picking the Cowboys to win this game because I think they're better, but I think the main reason, let me just say this. I think Philadelphia, let me say this. I'm trying to put the right sentence together. Frank Reich should never have to buy his own beer in Philadelphia again because I'm not sure Doug Pearson's a great head coach. John DeFilippo got out of Philly and went to Minnesota and got fired, and Frank Reich is the only guy who's having a successful post-Super Bowl year. And I think he's a big reason why they won that Super Bowl, to be honest with you. Because he had Nick Foles ready, and they had an awesome year anyway last year. So I'm just saying, Frank Reich is awesome, and I think he's a really, really good coach. But I think the Dallas Cowboys are just better. I just think they're just a better roster. So I'm taking Dallas.
I got the Colts.
It's a 50-50 game. So I don't know, but I just like the Dallas defense more. So, but it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be fun.
So, by any chance, do you happen to know who had the biggest NFL comeback ever in the game of football?
Biggest comeback ever?
Yeah, from the most points down.
Yeah, it was Frank Reich.
That's right.
Buffalo Bills.
That's right.
Yep, I know. There's several NFL Network things about it that I've seen a lot. So, you didn't think I was gonna get that, did you?
I figured you would.
But you also know that I watched way too much on the NFL Network, so.
Well, right. No, I figured you would, but yeah, the Oilers were up 28-3.
Shout out to 28-3.
And then they were up 35-3 in the beginning of the second half.
Yep. And did you know something else? Sorry to interrupt you real quick. He also did it in college too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Frank Reich's like, "Oh wait, we can't lose this game," and they came back.
Yeah. Awesome.
32 points. It's still referred to as the comeback.
Yep.
Anywho, okay, so you picked the Cowboys.
Yeah. I like that defense, and I think fourth quarter Amari Cooper is a thing. I think it's real, and once, even if the Cowboys are struggling, it's gonna be like end of the third quarter, sometime around then, and Dak Prescott's gonna be like, "God damn it, we need an 80-yard touchdown." Bomb! Amari Cooper's like, "I got it!" Touchdown. Like they got something going there.
He'll drop it.
He hasn't with the Cowboys. He hasn't. He's been clutch. He's had a couple double touchdown games. I'm telling you, dude, he's balling right now. So I know I get that there was a bad breakup with you and Amari Cooper, and that's okay.
Oh no, I'm glad we got a first rounder for him.
No, I know that.
I don't care where the pick comes in.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, the bad breakup from the standpoint of you're okay with him gone and blah blah blah. Like it's not like a thing where like you miss him. Like you don't care that he's gone. So I get all that. I'm just saying right now I'm not. If I'm a Cowboys fan and I shit on that trade when it happened, but if I'm a Cowboys fan right now, y'all had that 20-something pick. I'm going to the playoffs with Amari Cooper. So that's awesome.
Fine. You take him. You go to the playoffs. Then get your ass beat by the Rams. Toodaloo, mother.
Yeah.
So here we go. Enough Amari Cooper talk.
Yeah, I know. 4 more games. Only one of them's interesting in my opinion. So Seahawks, Niners. I'm taking the Seahawks. They're looking like one of the. They're looking like the team that if you're in the NFC, that you're not going to want to play in the playoffs. That's what they look like.
They are just getting warmed up. I am also taking the Seattle Seahawks, the fish chuckers.
Yeah, they're dangerous. They're going to be not fun to play in the playoffs. Like Drew Brees is going to be miserable in the fourth quarter of that game if they had to play him like in like the divisional round. Like he's going to hate his life. He's going to, oh my God. Like I'm talking Jared Goff too.
The problem is that they'll have to play him in New Orleans, and that place can get really, really, really loud in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. You're right. I'm just saying they're scary, man. Seattle's good. So, but we're both taking Seattle. The Niners, the Niners played well. That defense played pretty well against Denver last week, but it was Denver. So, and they lost Emmanuel Sanders and, blah, 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 blah. But, they showed a little something there, and I think they've got a good coach. And George Kittle is the new Gronkowski. People were calling him George Gronkowski on Twitter on Sunday.
Hey, George Kittle's no joke, dude.
He's not. He's watch out. He's the best all-around tight end right now in football. Because I'm including blocking and everything. And he's a much better blocker. I was watching, and I've also I've read some stories some columns where people are agreeing with me. He's a much better blocker than Travis Kelce is. And obviously Gronk's just not the same guy anymore. At least not this year. So it's George Kittle's best tight end in football.
Yeah.
He really is. I'm saying all around, because Travis Kelce is much more. Like, Travis Kelce's better in space, and I feel like after the route and everything, like, he's awesome. He's kind of Gronk-esque, honestly. But, no, man, George Kittle's who I would rather have. So, but yeah, I just don't think I don't think they can hang with the Seahawks. Seahawks are dangerous, man. They are going to cause some trouble in these playoffs. All right, let's go real quickly to the last 4 o'clock game. Game of the week, CBS. It is the New England Patriots travel to Pittsburgh to play Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. All I'm going to say is you've got a pissed off Tom Brady and a pissed off Bill Belichick and a pissed off Patriots team going into Pittsburgh for a team that's dropped 3 in a row. Is that right?
I don't know, but they're all pretty pissed off too.
They can be pissed off, but they've dropped 3 in a row, and at some point, you'd think losing games to bad teams would do something to you, but it hasn't so far.
Well, okay, so slow your roll there for a second,
One more stat, and then you can say what you're going to say. I want to say one more thing. The Patriots have not lost to the Steelers, regular season or playoffs, in Pittsburgh or Foxborough since 2011. It's been 7 years. We've owned them. I just want to say that. I'm picking New England. Now you go ahead, because I just wanted to get all of that out there, because there is some real we own this team mojo with this matchup. There always has been. So, but now go ahead.
Cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. But you go ahead.
I was just going to say they've lost to 3 crappy teams. Well, the Chargers aren't that crappy, and they only lost by 3.
No, but that's 100% fair. But I will say this. What were they up by? Like 20 points? 8, something like that? That's a crappy loss if you blow a huge lead. That's my problem with that. And then the Raiders are kind of a crappy team. So the
Raiders are a crappy team.
So you follow my logic though, right? Losing to the Chargers.
Well, I'm just saying the Chargers aren't a crappy team. They just woke up and came back because Justin Jackson went 8. He went ham on him.
I agree with you. I am not arguing with you. All I'm saying is, but you do see my logic from the standpoint of it's still a crappy loss. If you blow a huge lead and you're supposed to be this good team and you're at home and you're on primetime and you blow a lead, it's a bad loss. It just is. And that's what I meant. I didn't mean because they also lost to Denver, who was a crappy team, and I don't think Denver's like the crappiest team, but Denver's not that good. And by the way, I do want to also say, because this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago when that happened, I think it was like 3 weeks ago now or whatever. Steelers Broncos was my favorite game of the year. I just want to put that out there. That game was so much fun. It was so cool. It had everything. It had a 99-yard Juju Smith touchdown. It was awesome. But they lost that game. They lost to the Chargers, which was a bad loss because they blew it. And also the Broncos game was a bad loss too. And then they just got, they just lost to the Raiders. So I'm just saying, they can be pissed off, but at some point, wake up and beat a good team, or not a good team, but just wake up and be a good team. You know what I mean? If you really are. That's all I'm saying. And I know I've gotten a little preachy here, but yeah, we own them. So, you there?
Oh, I'm here. just letting you finish.
Hey, I gotta get these Patriots Steelers takes off, man. I gotta get them off. So, you taking Pittsburgh?
No, I'm taking the Patriots.
Woo! Let's go. How come? I want to know why.
Just because.
Hey, the pod's over, everyone. Just because. No, come on, for real. What?
No, because the Patriots are a better team than the Steelers. It doesn't mean the Steelers can't win.
No, I agree with that.
I mean, the Steelers put up friggin' 50 points on. I don't remember who it was.
Carolina. No,
Carolina.
There's a real.
They beat the Ravens. They only lost to the Chiefs by 3 or 5.
No, there's a
something
real
like that.
No, there's a real chance the Steelers beat us. It ain't gonna happen, but it's possible. I'm just saying.
You say it ain't gonna happen, but
I haven't seen it in 7 years. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And there and here's the thing, the Patriots. This is one of the weakest Patriot just overall teams we've had in I don't know how long, but it really is. And I think we're due for a good second round exit this year, which is going to be really depressing. But I will say, it ain't going to be to Pittsburgh. So, with that, I'm actually very surprised, by the way, that you took New England. So, what's our next game?
Why?
Oh, just because I thought you were taking Pittsburgh because it's at home, and I think they're honestly evenly matched.
No.
You really think New England's like clearly better than Pittsburgh? Really?
I don't. I think that they're better enough. Due to James Conner not being there and due to a couple other injuries he sustained over during the game against the Raiders, that I just don't think they've got the manpower to compete.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. They do have Juju Smith-Schuster, who we probably can't cover, and they do have Antonio Brown, who no one can cover, though. So that's what I'm worried about.
Gary and Conley covered him just fine.
Yeah, but we don't have Gary and Conley. We've got Devin McCourty and friggin'... Well, I like Stephon Gilmore. He's actually having a pretty good year, but I don't know.
Any hoot.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. Who do we have? Philadelphia Eagles.
Nick Foles against...
Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles, don't forget.
Yeah. With Frank Reich.
Exactly. And you agree with that take, by the way, right? Frank Reich's the guy, not Peterson or whatever.
DiFilippo.
Yeah, DiFilippo. I almost called him DiFilipino. That would have not been nice.
That's okay. I got a friend of mine who's Panamanian. He's from Panama. And I call him Pomeranian all the time. They like the dog.
Oh, my God. It's just like a hard word to say quickly if you're not thinking about it.
Yep. So, anyways, this game, whatever, Rams.
Yeah, Carson Wentz has a fracture in his back. He will not need surgery, but he's likely done for the year, right? Yeah,
there's no reason to play him. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to win this game.
No, they needed to beat Dallas last week, and they didn't, so it's over.
Well, I mean, theoretically, they could finish 9-7, right? In theory,
right? But
but that's whatever. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no point in playing Wentz and getting him messed up.
No, I agree, and he didn't even really play that badly this year, coming off an ACL tear. I thought he had a pretty decent year. I just think
he did. Yeah, no, he was playing good. They just, same old, different coordinator, different. People really, 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 really underestimate what happens when a quarterback goes from, gets comfortable in a system,
right,
and then somebody else comes in, and even if the system is the same, and they start changing reads around and nomenclature and you know, all the worrying and all that kind of stuff. So,
I love
I mean, that's what happened. That's what happened in Oakland. You know, that's what everybody's like, wow, Derek Carr sucks this year. Well, he did because he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
He went from 3-word plays to 43-word plays, and it's the whole defense. Or the whole defense, the whole offense was having an issue. Changing coordinators is a big deal, and I think Wentz was doing fine. Really,
I agree. I agree, and it just sucks that he's got another. I won't say devastating injury. I think an ACL is a devastating injury, but I don't think a fracture in your back is devastating. I mean, it can be, but it just sucks that he's got another pretty bad injury. You know, so I mean, hopefully he'll be all right next year, and we'll get someone in that coaching staff who, you know, can actually get the most out of the talent they have there. And I mean, they're finally starting to figure out how to use Golden Tate because it took them long enough. But it's just I don't know. But yeah, I'm taking the Rams. You're taking the Rams.
Oh yeah,
by a lot. And yeah. So let's move on to Sunday Night Football. Or excuse me, that was Sunday Night Football. I'm sorry. Last game of the Week 15, Monday night, ESPN 8:15 Eastern Time. The New Orleans Saints
on ESPN Deportes.
Oh my God. I'm swear to God I'm gonna delete that. I won't, but yeah. You threw me off. See what you did.
The Saints.
Yes, thank you. The Saints and the Panthers. The Panthers. It's in Carolina. Panthers have had a tailspin, and I personally haven't seen any stories about this, but I am not gonna be surprised if we hear after this game or after Week 17, whenever it be, oh yeah, Cam Newton was pretty hurt this year and just playing through it because he doesn't look very good. And that whole offense, that defense is just giving up. And I don't know, man. Ron Rivera might be on his way out. I'm taking the Saints by a lot, so.
Yeah, I don't know about the whole Ron Rivera thing, but
I mean, would you keep him?
I also took the Saints by a lot.
Would you keep him after the way that this season has turned out with the losing streak and everything?
Well, I mean, I see. Here's the thing about spectating about that kind of stuff, right? Or speculating about that kind of stuff. We don't know what's really going on.
Right, but I mean, 5 losses in a row, likely 6. Something's going on, and I just feel like with the teams some of the teams that they've lost to, and the ways that they've lost, they like you said it yourself last week or the week before, finding new ways to lose usually brews a coach firing on Black Monday. Usually happens because if you're finding ways to lose, there are games that you should not be losing that you are losing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you, but I'm just saying that the ownership has shown a willingness to.
I mean, remember that it's new ownership now. This is the first year. Remember that too.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but it is new ownership. So the new ownership hasn't really shown anything other than just to keep things the way they are because it didn't seem broken, but now it is. So what happens? That's my point. Because I get what you're saying, but it's not Jerry, what's his name anymore? It's this new dude. So it's like
Jerry Richardson and David Tepper.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Carolina Panthers owners. I did know those names. As soon as you said them, I knew that, but I couldn't think of them off the top of my head. But I mean, I just mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
And to be honest with you, I don't care.
I don't either. I was just talking to be talking. So
it's the Panthers.
Yeah, they're not good this year. And it's weird too because next year they can come back and
Cam for MVP.
Yeah, that was swing and a miss, huh? I'm gonna go with a safer pick next year, like Aaron Rodgers or something cool. Who
did I pick?
I was trying to be edgy. I don't know. You've got it written down somewhere.
Oh yeah, I picked Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, see that didn't work out either, but that wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I was unaware that they were deciding to get everybody injured and play with an all rookie receiving core. Nobody gave me that memo.
Yeah, and you also didn't know Joe Philbin would be coaching by week 13 or 14, excuse me.
Yes.
So yeah, that's it for this episode of the 108.1 FNFB podcast. We will be back sometime next week to talk about Week 16. And yeah, this was a fun one. I enjoyed this. I especially liked our Browns playoff scenario thing, and I really liked that article about
the 19 easy steps for the Giants to make the playoffs.
Yeah, that had me rolling. That was a good one. So, all right, good pod today. We'll talk to you guys next time. So have a good one.
Toodaloo.